So you built Restore, you're still building Restores, you're going to start building out goGLOWs. What was it about Mel, the founder of goGLOW, that you're like, this is a founder that I can get behind? What was it about Mel that you guys as a team found, compelling?
I mean, the compelling nature, she's got a great story. So if people have not listened to the podcast where you had her on, they should go back and listen to that. And I think they'll assess the same things that we did. She built this from the ground up herself. And I think that's really important. And the reason that's important is because she faced challenges. She made mistakes. Things didn't work out 100% the way she thought they would the first time. And what I liked is her perseverance. I think our group really liked the fact that she persevered. She said, this could be done better. And, from hiring a chemist to come up with, the right ingredients, that people are looking for today, and testing different things out, getting proprietary equipment. There's a lot of thought that's been put into it, and it's been, it wasn't easy for her. And I think that's actually important to us, is that she had to persevere because, she and the brand over time will face more challenges, and I know how she's going to respond to those. She's not going to back down. She's going to find a solution, and we want to be a part of that.
I love it. You just described her to a T. All right. Picking territories. Why, give us some thoughts on why is how important is picking the right territory in an emerging brand, and then location. Just look at your restores and why did you pick those territories? Why did you pick the locations? Any advice that you would have on somebody that's might be caught up on territories and may not be thinking about them the right way, and then just how important is the right physical location?
So you probably don't know this, but our actual first Restore location was 6.5 hours away from where I lived, and had a different set of partners at the time. And I was doing a lot of the work around, getting that location up and running, and, maintaining it and things like that. And being 6.5 hours away from something is really, really difficult. I had a couple of local partners that were phenomenal, and we're all still very good friends. But, that taught me a lesson that I want to be able to go put eyes on something, pretty quickly if I need to. And so we have built out, in the area that we live. And I think if you look at even the Restore data, they would tell you that out-of-market owners that maybe have other jobs don't perform as well as in-market owners that are, it's not rocket science. In-market owners that are focused on getting up every day and thinking about moving their business forward. So we wanted to put ourselves in a position to wake up every day and think about moving our business forward, in the market that we're in. And we do like having a protected geography in our market, and we're not afraid to make the commitments to get that and sign up for agreements in advance and things along those lines, because it's hard, right? Owning a business, franchise or not, it is hard. It's probably the hardest thing that somebody will do. And, not having the distraction of other owners and operators right around you, we just like not having to deal with that. And there's advantages to having that too, but we kind of like the advantages of not having that and not worrying about others, but focusing on ourselves and our clients.
In this time in franchising where semi-absentee and now it's becoming absentee are big buzzwords, my most successful franchises have been in markets where either I lived, or my partners lived. My least successful brands that I've been a part of were in areas where I didn't live or my partners didn't live. And like you said, it's not rocket science. Can it be done? Are people doing it in other markets? 100%. But that was probably one of my bigger challenges as a franchisee, was not, especially not being a part of a brand and then going in semi-absentee in a market that me or my partners don't live in. That was a challenge. I think it's different if you've been a franchisee in that brand and then you know what it takes and then you can expand out of market. I've seen more success with that. These aren't hard and fast rules, just my experience. And it sounds like you're kind of similar.
Same. Yep.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Any last bits of wisdom or advice that you'd want to give the audience?
I'll leave everybody with 3 things. And we corrected for this, but not thinking big enough. And I think I heard a recent guest that you had on. I can't remember exactly what they stated, but I really believe not thinking big enough is an issue for people and can hold them back. When we started Restore, I started this as a side hustle to a job that I was doing. And if you really sit back and think about it, do you really want a side hustle? Like, do you really? I mean, it's a distraction. It's probably not going to produce, life-changing income, and you're going to be busier if you've got something else going on. So I think, liking the idea of opening a business is one thing, but, going in and thinking a little bit bigger is a game changer. So we solved for that and we corrected that. The other is just start. You'll have a lot of people that are listening to this, like I did, thinking about, hey, I want to open my own business. I want to get into franchising, but there's a group of people that aren't doing a lot right now. And I would say, go talk to some brands. Walk in and talk to franchise owners. We're a friendly group of people. We love to talk about what we're doing and how to get other people into what we're doing. So just start. Momentum is kind of a crazy thing. Once you take one bite of that apple, you keep walking down that road, you'll help yourself out immensely. And then I think the last one is just learning to be uncomfortable. You had the guys on that are doing the guy on doing pickleball the other week, and I think he was talking about franchising has been like his MBA, and I would totally agree with that. And I've had to do so many things that I've never done before that were really uncomfortable, but there's so much good on the other side of that you have to learn to lean into being uncomfortable, because there's good on the other end of that. So I actually love it and people should love it when they're faced with something that they're not sure how to do, and they should lean into that, because that's a one more step towards success.
Dude, I can't agree more with those three. I love to get uncomfortable. I put myself in situations all the time to become uncomfortable. And then I get to teach that to my kids. Like whenever they're in an uncomfortable situation or something new, I'm like, that's great, because this is what I did. And so I coach them on that, and I continue to do it, because there's always somebody that has a bigger vision, that's doing bigger things, that's more successful, that's better at being a husband, a father, a business owner, you name it. And so I love to be around those people, because I will eventually become like them. Thanks for listening to the Franchise Secrets podcast. Links to everything can be found over at franchisesecrets.com. And if you want my help with anything from starting your own franchise to growing your current franchise business, please visit scalablefranchise.com.